There are 5 offensive hand grenades in Escape from Tarkov. Everyone has their preference when it comes to which they run daily and which is their favourite, but there are rather a lot of hidden stats and modifiers behind these grenades that you have to do a little digging to find. Luckily for you, dear watcher, I've done the digging for you and put together the ultimate grenade guide. Let's get into it. I'm Gaz, welcome to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a positive comment would be much appreciated and helps me greatly with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and never miss another video. Let's talk grenade stats. Grenades in Tarkov act differently to those in other games such as Call of Duty. In most games, grenades are an area of effect weapon that kill or hurt anything in a very specific radius. In Tarkov, while grenades also have a radius, these can change drastically depending on the type of grenade as well as the amount and type of shrapnel within the grenade. Here's the breakdowns for each grenade before we go any further. Starting with the F1 grenade, when thrown there is a 3.5 second delay before the explosion. The shrapnel radius is between 3 and 7 meters. It has a contusion chance of up to 12 meters. The grenade contains 90 F1 shrapnel fragments. This is important, we'll talk about shrapnel a little bit later. It weighs 0.6 kilos and can be purchased from Prapor level 3 for 9k or off the flea market for roughly 11k. Next, the M67. When you throw an M67, you'll have a longer delay of 5 seconds before the explosion. The shrapnel will travel between 3 to 8 meters with a contusion chance of up to 11 meters. The M67 contains 75 M67 fragments, weighs 0.396 kilos and can be purchased from Peacekeeper level 2 after completing the Spartor Part 2 quest, or the flea market for around 25k. The RGD5 has the same explosion delay as the F1 at 3.5 seconds, as well as the same shrapnel radius of between 3 and 7 meters. However, this grenade's contusion chance range is only 10 meters. It contains 70 RGD5 shrapnel fragments, weighs 0.31 kilos and can be bought from Prapor level 3 for 12k or the flea market for roughly the same price. The newest and most interesting grenades, in my opinion, are up next. The VOG-17 has a 3-second explosion delay, a 2.6 meter explosion radius and a 9 meter contusion radius. However, it packs 100 RGD5 shrapnel fragments into this casing and weighs only 0.28 kilos. These can be bartered from Mechanic at level 1 or purchased from the flea market for around 12,000 rubles each. Finally, we have the VOG-25. If you're looking for a little breach and clear action, this one has a 2-second explosion delay with a 2 to 7 meter shrapnel radius and a 7 meter contusion radius. However, for the much shorter fuse time, it only comes packed with 35 F1 shrapnel fragments. The VOG-25 weighs in at 0.25 kilos and can either be crafted at the workbench level 1 or purchased from the flea for around 20k. Let's quickly touch on shrapnel fragments as the ultimate measure of just how deadly these grenades are. For starters, we have the F1 fragments. These travel at 90 meters per second, do 40 damage and have 15 armor penetration. They also do 38% armor damage and have a fragmentation chance of 10%. The M67 fragments move a little bit faster at 100 meters per second, do 45 damage and have 10 armor penetration. These only do 32% armor damage, but if you get lucky enough to bypass armor, the 50% fragmentation chance will tear your opponent to shreds. Finally, the RGD5 fragments. These move at 90 meters per second, do 55 damage and have 20 armor penetration. Similar to the M67 fragments, they only do 32% armor damage, but once again have a 50% fragmentation chance. Ultimately, the numbers in this guide won't have a profound effect on the minute-to-minute decisions about whether or not you choose to throw a grenade. Chances are, when you're in that situation, it's a case of any grenade will do. However, there are a couple of notable pieces of information we can pull out of this in order to make a more informed decision about when to run each of these grenades. Firstly, which ones should you run on a budget? I believe the answer here to be the F1 grenade. The main reason for this is that, firstly, you can get them for 9k a piece from Prapor level 2, but also that they share so many things in common with the RGD5, including the relatively manageable fuse time of 3.5 seconds. This is long enough to give the grenade some time to travel, but not long enough to give players plenty of time to escape it. I personally run F1 grenades all the time for this reason. Another consideration is the playstyle you're adopting. The biggest thing here is the size of the map and whether or not there are a lot of small corridors and rooms where a grenade could be used as a means to push an opponent or thrown to injure them with a shorter fuse. While I'm a fan of the VOG-25, I actually find the 2-second fuse timer to be a little bit too short. For that reason, when you're up close and personal, I prefer the VOG-17's 3-second fuse as well as the wealth of extra fragments it holds. You might think by looking at the flea market that the M67 is the grenade with the biggest boom, but this isn't exactly true. Sure, it has the biggest radius, but the shrapnel from the RGD5 grenades will do more damage and likely end up with a better chance of netting you a kill. The M67s are only as expensive as they are due to them being needed for a quest where they don't need to be found in raid. So those are my thoughts on the best grenades in Escape from Tarkov. If you're up close and personal, I'm going with the VOG-17. For anything else, I prefer the F1, but the RGD5 works a treat too. I'm interested to hear what your go-to grenades are for a given situation. Let me know with a comment below, right after you click like on the way past. Subscribe so you never miss another Escape from Tarkov video from me. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.